Yes.
So great to meet you, Nadia, and welcome to the Original You podcast. And I'm going to start with our first question, which is, who are you? Not what you do, but
Hmm.
who are you?
I am a very energetic person. I love to learn about people. I I'm a very nosy person. I like to know everything, like to tell me everything. Um, I am a person that likes to always give another person empathy to understand where they're coming from, understand their background, and that's the person that I am. I have a big heart for people, and that is what I like to put out into the world.
Great. So let's move on to the second question. So, how much of who you are really was shaped, cultivated by the people in your life? The family, friends, colleagues, mentors, teachers, etc.
Yes, I believe my family has really cultivated me as a person to where anything that I do, I think of my family. I think a person that really shaped who I am is my mother, and I give my the highest praise to her about how she raised me, how she helped me become the woman that I am today. And I think the other people that's in my life that has cultivated me has been my dance teachers. When I was in college, they made me get out of my comfort zone and made me be okay with being uncomfortable. And I think that brought another aspect out of me. So I give my praise to who I am, to my mother, and to my dance teachers. And that is how I've been going out into the world, having my thoughts and how I view the world and how I want the world to view me. It's just bringing out the person that I am as being okay with being uncomfortable, and I want other people to have that type of aspect as well of it's okay to do something that's not in your comfort zone and step out of it to figure out who you are. If you are okay with doing something that you said you never would do and now you're doing it, that's who I've been implemented into my life, and I want to implement that into the world. That is who I've surrounded myself growing up.
So, how do you apply that? How does it, in some examples from your life?
So I always tell my friends, what is something that you said that you want to do, but you're scared to do? And that's one thing that you need to do at that moment. That's how I've been able to just make that into the world, to make sure all my friends and people that I've came across, talked to, had conversations with is it's okay to explore. It's okay to put a step forward and see what you can do. And that's just what I like to have a little teaching moments with people that I come across. Just in case they have never done that before or heard that before, at least I know that I've said it and told them this is what helped me and this is what I would love for you to try.
So, are there examples where you've been scared, but you've
Uh,
overcome that?
Yes. So in college, we had this dance seminar, and I've always been scared to do freestyle dance of just on the spot. Usually, I like to choreograph and actually create a dance, and that was comfortable for me. But then my dance teachers made me do a freestyle in front of everybody and say, "You're gonna freestyle, and it's okay to be scared." And I've always been nervous about freestyling, and because they told me that I have to go out there and freestyle, it made me do something very uncomfortable that I've been scared of. And then now that I've done that, it pushed me to the point of that's been the defining moment of stepping out of my comfort zone and being okay with doing something that I've been wanting to do but always been scared to do. So that's one of the examples that I can say.
Well, that's where you learned it. Now, where else did you use it?
I have used it in my other dance practices to where I've always told my dance partners to do a freestyle. Try to make sure that when you're dancing, don't try to be so calculated. Just be in the moment because that's where the beauty of the dance comes out. That's where who you are as a dancer is going to bring is doing something on the spot. You're thinking about it and you're dancing to the music, you're dancing to the counts. That's where you're going to figure out who you are as a dancer to where you can literally just be on the spot improvising, and it can actually it look good too as if you're not improvising. So when I told my dance partners just to try it, we actually use that in a dance seminar, this another dance seminar, to where that that improv that they did, we used that. We made sure to make sure we used the video that we took as my dance partner freestyle, and he said, "This is what we're going to use into the dance," and that's where we made up a dance surrounding that.
So, is there a context other than dance where you've used that notion of being scared and being uncomfortable? I don't know. I mean, do you only do dance in your life? Is that
No, no, no,
mostly what
no,
your
no,
life
no.
is about right now?
And no, no, no. I don't only do dance. I am also in real estate, and I am a senior loans operations manager. To where any deal that comes through, I make sure that the deals are being done on time. And now I'm also going to networking events. And usually, I'm the type of person that am okay with being in the background, not talking, doing just the paperwork. But now in my line of work, instead of me just continuing being on the computer, now I'm actually going out into the networking events and I'm actually talking to people. And that's where I have always had a blockage as well, to where I was nervous to talking to people if I'm saying the right words or if I'm actually knowing what I'm talking about, to where now I've gained the confidence of going to the networking events, pushing myself to go and actually talking to people, making the first conversation, asking them how their day was, asking them what they do for work, and seeing if we can form a business together any type of way. That's where I was always kind of scared about, but now I am pushing myself to go more into these networking events and using my voice and finding my voice into my job.
Great, great. So, you also talked about the influence of your mother.
Yes.
Uh, so where does that come through
I always
in
have my
who you
mother.
are?
Yes. So my mother is a very, very hardworking woman. She is the woman that I literally look up to and wanting to be as I grow older. She has overcame so many adversities and always have her held high. She always made sure to step out to do things that she was nervous about. And that's where I've always learned that from. And my mother have always talked to me about dancing, telling me to get out there. And then in networking and real estate, she has taught me so much about her line of work, where she came from, how she was able to build her company from the ground up, just from networking, just from using her past experiences, and she taught me how to implement that into my job. And the woman that she is, I've always admired, and I've always hearing her words of "You can do it. Don't be scared. The moment you're scared is the moment where you should push yourself to do it." as soon as you hear a little voice in your head saying, I don't know if I can do it, that's the moment where you said, I have to do it now. And those are the words that I will always take from my mother.
Wow, that's great. So, what aspects of your life and your being are affected by technology? To what extent
Mm-hmm.
do you find technology either hurtful or harmful in your life, um, and kind of formative of you?
Of me, I fully believe that technology is surrounding us so much to where any line of work that you're doing, if it's in real estate, retail, corporate, it doesn't matter what type of line of work you're doing, somehow, some way, technology is going to be involved. And you have to adapt with technology as it's adapting. So for me, I think real estate intertwined with technology of that's how we use a lot of communication, and we're using a lot of networking ways through technology, through internet, through social media. And I think that it's been a big part of my life because I'm a millennial, and internet and technology was becoming this big thing when I was a little girl. Um, so it's been implemented in my life, and I've been on social media as well, so I'm always scrolling every day. So I've always been using technology. So I don't think it has impacted me so much in a hard way. I think it helped me build a little bit more networking tools from using technology, but also I think what hinders myself and maybe others is the addiction to social media and addiction to our phones because we're always using our phones every single day. And sometimes we need to have like a little reset moment of not having your phone in your hand, not worrying about what's happening on social media, and just being one with the world, having a one-on-one conversation in person. I think that's where a lot of us generate a lot of our younger generation and even our older generation are so intertwined with using technology of making it kind of like an addiction. But I think that's where the hinder is. But for me personally, I think of it as a useful tool, because that's where now a lot of companies are being built from technology, a lot of companies being built from using social media, using different platforms. So I think it's like a give and take with technology to where it can hinder, but it can be a very useful tool to use. That's just how
Where
I
are
think.
you using it?
I
How is it impacting you?
It impacting me just by every day being on a computer, doing pushing paperwork online, and I think it doesn't hinder me, but it does impact me of every day because I'm using it, and I don't think it's a bad thing, but I do use technology every single day,
What do you
and
use? What are you
I use
using?
I use a computer, I use a telephone, and those are the two major technology pieces that I use for work and for everyday use. And I'm on a computer typing away every single day, just using my work. So I think it doesn't hinder, but it is useful in real estate and in just in corporate and just in general for businesses.
But you were talking about streaming social media and sometimes too much.
Yeah. So
That it's
that
addictive. Yeah.
that
So what social media are you finding addictive?
yeah, that's the downside. I think I'm using too much of TikTok. I keep scrolling on
It's
TikTok,
TikTok. Okay.
Instagram,
Because
and
I
I
think
think that's
that's the age based, maybe. So I'm just
yeah,
asking.
maybe. But yeah, I do think that's the hinder, just using social media, just scrolling and stuff like that. But other useful technology, this useful phone is doing the network. If you're not networking, if you're not using it for work and you're just scrolling on social media, then it can be addicting. And I think I have to make sure to stay away from social media as a whole and make sure I have those reset moments before I become it does addictive.
And what are you using for networking?
I do use LinkedIn. I do use Facebook communities of looking for different aspects of real estate and see what other businesses that I can see and help build. And I think those are very useful tools for businesses. But if you're not networking, I do think it is the hinder of it. But there are outlets for networking on social media. You just have to find them.
Great. Great. Is there anything else that you can reflect on in terms of maybe tough times in your life and how you overcame them?
Mm, yeah, I think when it came to COVID, when the whole world shut down, I think at that moment in my life, I thought I was geared toward one way. And when the world stopped, it hindered a lot of work that I was doing. And it made me start back from one and go into a different path that I didn't even think that I was being passionate about. But that's kind of the hardship of thinking of what would have happened, what could have happened if COVID didn't happen. But and those are the hardships of me not not what's the word I'm looking for? Not grieving the life that I thought I would have had, but actually being happy that I'm still able to have another pathway that I didn't think was possible. So the hardship of COVID stopping a job opportunity for me, it really did take a toll on me. And how I overcame it is I let myself sit there and let me feel all the emotions. And I told myself I cannot sit in this state of mind for too long. And I have to allow myself to feel it, but I have to get started. I have to jumpstart my career again. I have to get back working. And those in that time, that's just where I was not at my lowest, but it was a very tough time dealing with that. And I had to fight, keep going. And I once I did that, that's when I saw my life did a completely 180 and it went up from there. And I'm so happy that I did not stay into that state of sadness, that state of, oh my God, this happened. What I had this job opportunity and that was my dream. What happened? And now I found another dream of mine that I didn't know that I had.
So you lost your job, or there was something that you were going for that you kind of had to give up?
Yeah, I had a job opportunity lined up and I was geared toward going there, but because the world shut down, it shut down that area of line of work that I wanted to do.
Can I ask
And
what that was?
yeah, it was for in Cirque du Soleil in Las Vegas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I was supposed to work for a specific part of Cirque du Soleil, but because COVID happened right when I got the opportunity, they had to shut down.
Wow. And what were you going to do in Cirque du Soleil?
I was gonna be one of the not stage manager, but more of the keep making sure everything getting run correctly, make sure things are get set on time because my degree is in arts management. And basically what that is helping businesses either start up or go into the entertainment business wise, making sure I'm looking at contracts, making sure I'm looking at dates and times of making sure people understand this is what you're signing up for. Um, Making sure in that line of work that I wanted to do is not pushing paperwork, but being the person that's in the board meeting, making this is what the area of Cirque du Soleil that I'm thinking it should help, like making sure the they finding the more demographic area, making that larger, making sure that they are up to date with trends and stuff like that. That's where I was gearing towards. And because that little area shut down, I couldn't do it. And that was sad, but I just had to push through. And I still have a good relationship with the people that I was going to work with, but I just at that moment I just had to look for something else.
Mhm. Great. That's so clearly you're very resilient
Yeah.
and you're able to make it through challenges and come out the other side. And you're enjoying what you're doing now and you feel fulfilled.
Yeah, I feel like everything that I wanted in my life, I'm actually able to get doing this. So I'm just so happy that I was able to get out of that headspace, and now I'm here.
Great. I want to thank you very much for being on the podcast. And feel free to come back
Mm.
and do another interview to see how you've grown.
Of course, I would love to
Yeah,
come back. Thank you for having me.
yeah, my pleasure.
No problem. Thank you.